අයිවන් සුබ දවසක්. අද කතා කරන්නේ ස්ටොමැක් හේවත් ආමාශය ගැන. ආමාශය කියන්නේ අපගේ උදර කුහරය තුළ විශේෂිත අවයවයක්. එලිමෙන්ටරි කැනල් එකේ තියෙන විශේෂිත අවයවයක් වන ආමාශය ගැන තමයි අද කතා කරන්නේ. ආමාශය අපි ගත්තාම ආමාශය උදර කුහරයේ පිහිටලා තියෙනවා. ඉහළින් ඉසොෆේගස් එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. පහළින් ඩියෝඩිනම් එකට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. Stomach is a J-shaped sac like structure. It is consist of smooth muscles. There are three smooth muscles that contribute to the form the stomach. Three muscles layer, outer longitudinal muscle layer, middle circular muscle layer, inner oblique muscle layer. This is the exception to other structures in the alimentary canal, because other structures, large bowel, small bowel, they have only two muscle layers, but in the stomach there are three muscle layers. This is a special point. And the esophagus connect in the upper side of the stomach. There's a sphincter we call cardiac sphincter. This is a functional sphincter, not an anatomical sphincter. And the lower part that connect to the duodenum, there's a sphincter. This is we call the pyloric sphincter. This is anatomical sphincter, consists of circular smooth muscles. When we look at the inside of the stomach cavity, the inner layer, lining we call mucosa. Mucosa is consist of numerous gastric gland. When a resting state, in a resting state, the mucosal lining is thrown into the fold. This fold called rugae. These are the rugae in a resting state, but when food enters to the stomach is distended, these rugae is disappeared. And inner mucosal lining give rise to velvet appearance. This velvet appearance is due to the numerous gastric gland. When we take a gastric gland, this is the structure we can see. There are surface epithelium cells. There are three specialized cells in this gastric gland: parietal cells, chief cells, and the mucous neck cells. These mucous neck cells secrete mucus, and these mucus protect the gastric mucosa. And the parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid, that means H plus and chloride ions, and also secrete intrinsic factor. This intrinsic factor is aid vitamin B12 absorption in the terminal ileum. And the other cell type is chief cell. Chief cell produce secrete pepsinogen. Pepsinogen is the protein digestive enzyme. Pepsinogen is the inactive form. This pepsinogen is activated by the hydrochloric acid into the pepsine, and the pepsine contribute to the breakdown of the protein. And let's discuss the phases of gastric juice secretion. Gastric juice mainly consists of mucus, hydrochloric acid, and the pepsinogen. These are the main three components of gastric juice. Gastric juice secretion, there are three phases. First phase is cephalic phase. That means when we look at the foods, or when we thought of foods, and when we feel the smell of the food, the gastric juice secrete into our stomach. This is the cephalic phase. And the stomach, or the gastric phase, when the food enter into the stomach, that stimulates secretion of gastric juice. This is a gastric phase, and this gastric juice contain pepsinogen, hydrochloric acid, and the mucus, and that initiate the digestion in the stomach. When food enter into the stomach, food mix with gastric juice. There's also a special thing happening in the stomach, the mechanical digestion. Mechanical digestion occur due to this churning action of the stomach. This churning action is the series of muscle relaxation, muscle relaxation and contraction, relaxation and contraction, relaxation and contraction. This is a series of events that help in mixing of food with gastric juice. This is a type of mechanical digestion, and this aid in chemical digestion. This is we call churning action. And after mixing of this food with gastric juice, the chemical digestion is started, and the hydrochloric acid secreted by the gastric juice, pepsinogen, the inactive form of enzyme, converted into the pepsine by the hydrochloric acid, and this pepsine break down protein into polypeptide. And other thing, special thing is the gastric lining protection. There are three main point that aid to protect this gastric mucosa, because hydrochloric acid is very acidic and will damage to the gastric mucosa. But that is not so, because there is a mucus secretory gland. This mucus secretory gland secrete mucus, and there is a mucus layer inside this gastrium, so they prevent contact the hydrochloric acid with mucosal cell. Also, the pepsinogen is an inactive form, but pepsin is in active form, and pepsin will damage this mucosal cell. But the gastric juice secrete these enzymes as inactive pepsinogen, and this is also adaptation. Another third thing is this. Every third day, this mucosal cell lining is produce new cells and replace other damaged cells. This is also adaptation. There are three adaptation. There's a mucus layer that protect the mucosal cell lining. Second is secrete these enzymes in inactive form, pepsinogen. And third is there is a cell division or the new cell formation in every 3 days. These are 3 points to remember. And other thing is when there is excess production of hydrochloric acid, that will produce gastric ulcers, or when there is secrete excess gastric hormone, that will also increase the production of this gastric juice, and that will damage to the gastric mucosa. And let's discuss the next part in a soon. Thank you very much.